on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Frank KG5HJ, and today we're going to be looking at the Intellitron 45-foot fiberglass mast. This is the middle mast, and then their series, I think they have like a 30-foot and then a 54-foot, but I got the 45-foot mast, and we're going to be trying to set it up and just kind of taking our first looks at it. So let's get started. And see, this is heavy. I can't even pick it up, it just comes apart. Let me go ahead and say this is kind of up front, and it's kind of the tail end of the video recording it, but Gigaparts did go ahead and cut me a good discount for this mast, and I did pay a majority of it. So these thoughts are my thoughts. Can't wait to get it up. The cigar's coming out. You know it's going to be real talk now. First off, I just want to note that these rubber caps they put at the end don't hold this thing together. You got to be real careful picking this up, because it will just slide out from under. Look, it's already slid out, and in transport back from Huntsville, it did kind of bust out of its box, so we had to reinforce it with more tape. It's just wish it shipped with better caps at the end than these, so it can not just bust out of the box, or just easily, as you just pick this up, try to move it around the house, come out and just started going all over the place. Minor note. All right, so let's look what it ships with. It does come with a single cap for the tip of the mast, and that's going to go at the top smallest element. Then also these couplers that's going to go in between each section. It's actually going to sit on the top of the large section, then clamp down into the section right before it. And also a little Allen wrench that you can tighten these down and really cinch them in and lock them in place. This fiberglass system is built to handle the elements and stay outside, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to kind of rig it to my fence, so it's not going to go anywhere. I'm not going to have it up right now full time, because I'm not going to be able to secure the top that well, and especially right now this year, there's a lot of rain and thunderstorms coming through, and I'm not going to trust this just by itself, because I'm not going to have any of the wire guiding that this antenna system should have. However, just for up and down and having fun for a while in a weekend, yeah, I can leave it up for a day or two. I don't see any problem. So I think the best way we're going to do this is going to be securing the topmost element, and then each ring below it as we go out, so we should have all these attached to it. I think this should be relatively easy, especially because they didn't really provide instructions how to do it, so I'm assuming any amateur radio operator can figure it out, and I can figure it out. That means I know you can too, because y'all are smarter than me. All right, one section's installed. So a couple things to know. While getting into this first section here, each one of these is nicely labeled 2, 3, 4, and so on. It starts with 2. Yeah, it starts with 2. So I think that's the connection to the second element of this antenna system. And this thing, I'm gonna have to work to get it on there. But oh, look, there it is. I couldn't do it with gloves. So these are notes on what section they clamp onto the base and to the section above it. I was just going to do the 2, then slide the 3, and then slide the 4, slide the 5. However, I'm not going to be able to get this passed. So I'm going to have to take this section off and redo it. Also, I found that it was easiest to remove these bolts completely to help you force open these to slide it in onto this mounting element. And also undo this nut almost all the way so that you can slide it over its clamping element. So I'm gonna have to take this off and put all these onto the base, and then slowly but surely get each one of these on. I'll also like to point out these tubes are tubes. They're not keyed like the POTA-mast system to be pushed up and they become rigid as they go up. These are just solid tubes. If you let them, they'll go out that end and they will go out that end. This is the final section here, and I'm going to explain what I did as far as tightening these down. I just went ahead and tightened these to the point where I'm satisfied with them. I don't know if there was a set mark or not. Once that was satisfyingly tight, then I went ahead and tightened this nut here to be relatively, give some good resistance to that closing. I think this bottom one will probably a little bit more extra tight than the other ones because it's holding everything up, and it is complete. Yeah! 1 week later, it is finally dry and I can reclaim my garage. I have everything staged. The mast is staged and looks like it's ready to go. I got a bunch of screws that are ready to go, and I think I figured out how I'm gonna mount stuff to the sky hook, and everything is just kind of ready. And I am finally ready to start drilling into the fence. I just gotta move the mast out there with all the screws and So here is the plan. We're in our backyard. I want to mount my mast on this fence pole. And the reason why I want to mount it on the pole, because it's cemented into the ground. What best anchor point is then something that's cemented into the ground. I am going to somehow, using this flat strap here, and I am going to attach somehow the pole kind of like that to the post. And I have a second one, I'm gonna do it down here. Now, I was kind of hoping I could find one of these metal poles, like so I can utilize one of these. These are the fence pole mounts, and I was thinking about taking one of those, putting it around the mast, and the second one around the fence post, and then just using nuts and bolts, putting those together, and that will be my mast mount. However, it's not over there. And I'm wanting it here so that I can have the mast up, and then I want to run it catty corner all the way down there for the antenna sloper. So that's going to give me the maximum usage of my yard, and hopefully I can have the receiving end of the end-fed half wave be somewhere in the middle of my yard without hitting any of these trees. Well, before we get started, a few things to note. I went ahead and bent this bracket a little bit so it kind of wraps around a little bit nicer there. And the hole I want to drill through is too big for the screw I want, so I got a washer. Yeah, I think this will work. I need another hand. And for the heck of it, I'm just going to second screw here just to help it something. I went ahead and got the bracket installed, or it's drilled in. I also did the lower one down here. I bent it in, got everything right. My plan right now is to go ahead and tighten this down the best I can to hold it in place. It's gonna give it a little wiggle room, hoping not too much, but this is gonna be temporary, and I don't plan on having this up by itself longer than a couple of months, maybe a year. It's not going to be permanently put up the entire time. I'm going to bring it down when I'm not using it, because there's not going to be a lightning solution, and I don't want these sticking up on top of the house and get struck by lightning. So this is going to be up and down temporarily, and once I figure out how to do this nicer, and we'll do it then. Maybe we'll replace this post one day and make it metal, and then I could do it nice. But let's go ahead and finish it up. I almost forgot to put this back in after I mounted it. No. That would have been a nightmare to try to get that back together. So let's just do this now, somehow. I don't know why this shot was so bad. I thought I lined it up pretty good, but look at my back of my head. At this point, I realized that there was a little bit more wiggle room than I would have liked on the mast, between the mast and the strap. So I decided to go and get a rag to put in between these so that there's not going to be any rubbing against any fiberglass, and there will be a buffer between that. Here we go. A towel that's all the way around it, and I have the thick part like double wrapped on the back side-ish. Hopefully that will be enough to not damage my mast. There we go. all the way down to the bottom bracket, up to the top. To be honest, I was thinking about trying to wrap the bottom somehow for the weed whackers that come by. I'm going to try to figure out a better solution for that, if I could find like a rubber cap or something that goes around it, or maybe a slightly larger metal something so that it doesn't get damaged by the mowers. Think that's good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten up some of the other stuff to cap it off and get the antenna mounted. Woot! I did a thing. This one, yeah, there we go. Oh, keep going up to see the red. Go back down a bit, lop it in. Oh, yes. Again. How high is this? Oh, wow. I told my neighbor I wasn't going to extend it all the way a lot. Oh, that's so cool. If this is up permanently, I need a section ring probably here to guy it, but I don't know how I'm going to guy it. That's an issue for later. I'll see if this works. Yeah. Okie dokie, we got the mast set up, the antenna is up in the tree. Look at it, it's so awesome. It is not all the way up extended because I didn't want to put it all the way up for the first time. And I can take it down anytime I want. I might have to get something, you know, to stand up because I'm not that tall, I'm not Robert tall. But it is up there, it is awesome, it's amazing, and can't wait to get on the air. It's actually probably just in time for the Texas QSO party, whenever that is. But I might try to operate from the home using the alpha antenna, and as I set it up right now, I got it going from the mast all the way to the tree, and then from the tree it's coming down in the L setup. All right, let me take a minute to relax before I figure out what I'm gonna do for dinner and hit up the cigar bar. The mast itself, assembly and getting everything up and going. It worked. It took a little bit finessing to figure out how to do it, but once you figure it out, it's pretty easy. It does weigh, I don't know, 40, 50 pounds. But once you kind of get it up and get it where it's going, you're not gonna have to lift it that much ever again. Extending the mast up and down, it is kind of tall. So if you're kind of short, you're gonna need a ladder or something to stand up to help you get up there, and then extend it up all the way like I was standing on a little house stepping stool so I can go ahead and extend it up and down. If you're Jason short, yeah, you're gonna probably need a full ladder. If you're just normal people size, yeah, you might just need a stepping stool just to reach up there and comfortably move the sections up and down, and where you're not straining to get to it. Other than that, the fiberglassness looks amazing, and I think it's gonna be holding up well outdoors. I'm going to be using this for my mast full time in the backyard. I'm not going to take it down as in we put it into the garage. I am just going to be collapsing it down and leaving it up in the elements. So Digger Parts did say that this mast is be able to use outside year round in all weather. So we're going to see how that does. I might do a year update or 6 months update after the winter and see how it's doing. See what I thought, see what I like. Just remember though, if you go to Gigaparts, use TANK at checkout. That might be all caps, T-A-N-K. You'll go ahead and get bonus points for the reward system. I don't know all the details yet. They changed how it works, but it should be almost anything on their website. You get extra Gigaparts rewards, and you can use those rewards to buy stuff in the store. And it helps out me, Tank Radio. I don't know how it does that yet, but it should help out me, Tank Radio. Y'all are awesome and amazing, and this was fun to do. It was fun to figure out. My fence is a pain, so I wish I was able to get that up nicer, but I think this will hold out well until I figure out how to get it nice and permanently set up. I think this is a good permanent temporary setup, but no setup is more permanent than the temporary setup. Just like no fix is more permanent than the temporary fix, right? Yeah, we know this in engineering and coding and thank you all for watching. Thank you to everyone who does support me via Patreon. Patreon links are in the description below, and YouTube membership is active. Go ahead and click that membership. And if you're not already, go ahead and like and subscribe. I do appreciate it. Thank you all for watching, and as always, go forth and conquer.